Well, howdy cowpokes, and welcome to Cereal at Midnight. My name is Heath, and in this episode we're talking about Randolph Scott, specifically 12 classic westerns that comprise the Randolph Scott Collection. This is brand new on Blu-ray from Mill Creek Entertainment. Actually, as I'm recording this video, I've got it a little bit early, so hopefully you're seeing a first look here. Those of you who've been following Cereal at Midnight, you know that I love westerns. I love Randolph Scott. Specifically, I love the Renown cycle, which is the films that Randolph Scott made at Columbia, starring Randolph Scott, produced by Harry Joe Brown, directed by Bud Bedecker, and that they're here. They're included in this box set, which is one of the reasons I was so excited about this. This has been on my, one of the most anticipated releases of the entire year for me, because of exactly what I'm telling you guys. There's so much good stuff here. Really, the Renown cycle that's enough. If it was just that would be a huge deal. But then you're getting all the other westerns that complete the rest of the collection of these Randolph Scott movies at Columbia. These have been on disc before. I'm going to reference, you see I've got these over here. These are the two Randolph Scott roundups. It's the same 12 movies, but one of the things that these did, so it's 2 discs each collection and 3 movies on each DVD. So we're talking about a lot of compression and no special features, of course. They were fairly, budget releases. I think each of them was $10, $12, something like that. So same movies are now getting the huge upgrade to Blu-ray. And we've got special features. We've got commentaries. We've got a new feature, a featurette from Ballyhoo Motion Pictures, written by C. Courtney Joyner. So much to talk about here. Let's just go ahead and get into this. So we have beautiful packaging. I'll hold this up for you. If you want to freeze frame this so you can read all the specifics there. We do have subtitles. The movies are subtitled. But the packaging is beautiful. This gorgeous 50s art. All of these movies come from the 50s except for one. The first film in the set, The Desperados, is 1943. I think it's, 1943. Here's what we're dealing with. We've got a booklet. You know I love a booklet. We have 2 movies per Blu-ray. It's not a big deal because each of these movies is less than an hour and a half. Some of them are about an hour and 15, an hour and 17 minutes. Less than 3 hours per Blu-ray. That's fine. So 2 movies, I'll go ahead and I'll show you. They're even presented in the same order that they're on the DVD set as well. And then here we're getting into, start with a tall T. There we go with the Renown cycle. There's actually a previous movie in the Renown cycle, but it's for Warner Brothers. It's called 7 Men From Now. And start there. That's a great place to start. Get this. Also track down 7 Men From Now because it's part of the cycle. We're talking about 6 movies. 5 of them were at Columbia. 5 Tall Tales. There's that box set. I also talked about them in this box set here. But 7 Men From Now, it's for Warner Brothers under John Wayne's Batjack Productions. So it's only on DVD, but as the last time I saw it, was very affordable. So grab that. And you know what? While you're at it, grab Ride the High Country, because that was Randolph Scott's swan song. This set gets us up to 1960. Comanche Station is the last of the Renown cycle. 1960. 1962 is Ride the High Country, and he never made another movie again. So that is his swan song. This is a huge swath of Randolph Scott's Western career. Now, there are other Westerns that he made that aren't included here, but they're for other studios. These are the Columbia Pictures films, and Columbia is a subsidiary of Sony now, and Mill Creek has the deal with Sony. I will also say that Mill Creek has done none of the restoration work for these themselves. These come from the Sony vaults, the Columbia Pictures archive at Sony, right? These are the transfers. No new restoration work has been done as far as I know. They look like archival transfers, right? But they are high definition. And you guys, if you're coming from these DVD transfers, it's night and day. So let's look at the booklet, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about here. First of all, we kick things off with this essay from C. Courtney Joyner. Friend of Cereal at Midnight, C. Courtney Joyner. I have so much respect for him. So talented. Screenwriter, author, director, film expert. He kind of kicks us off here talking about Randolph Scott at Columbia, how he ended up as a Western superstar. And, he goes back to the 30s. You see him in these 30s movies, and they're not Westerns, and you're like, wow, what a long way to go. He would go on to become a huge, it tells us in the facts here, on the back page, we've got facts here, that he was making $100,000 a picture at the beginning of 1950, which translates to about $1 million in modern money. So $1 million per movie, that's huge. And Columbia was not necessarily one of the huge studios, right? Columbia specialized in a certain kind of movie. I think it's safe to say most of these fall under the B movie, especially the renown cycle. They get away with so much. Why do I like the renown cycle? Because they're B pictures, right? And so nobody's really paying that much attention to what they are. They're not John Ford Westerns. So the morality is gray. The characters are not black hat, white hat. They're really, there's a lot of morality stuff there. There's a lot of corruption. They're just so interesting. Violence from people that don't want to have anything to do with it. The influence of noir, that same style had really started to seep into the Western. And you get something like, the 50s are the golden age of the Western. And again, all of these movies are 1950s Westerns, except for The Desperados, which is 1943. So it's like if you don't know these movies, if you're coming to Westerns, there's so much education here. But they could get away with a lot. They could really pack in shocking violence and just really interesting character stuff, because they didn't have huge budgets. So you got to fill it out with the story. Locations, story. They're so real. They're so visceral. And I cannot recommend them to you enough. So here's what we got. We got a new documentary feature from Ballyhoo Motion Pictures, Daniel Griffith, who again I have so much respect for. So C. Courtney Joyner wrote this featurette. He produced it. Monty Markham is the narrator, and he's just, it's just this country, just you got cowboy grit. You might as well have an actual cowboy reading to you about what's going on with the Randolph Scott Westerns at Columbia. I mean, it's good stuff. And they're focusing on the renown cycle. That's pretty much the topic. So we got commentaries too. That runs about 11 minutes. The featurette from Ballyhoo runs about 11 minutes. And just giving us context for what that means for Randolph Scott at Columbia. The Tall T has a commentary by C. Courtney Joyner. These have no commentaries or special features. The Tall T, C. Courtney Joyner, screenwriter, author, film historian. Greg Sutter, the historian and researcher to Elmore Leonard, because The Tall T was the first big screen adaptation of an Elmore Leonard story. Elmore Leonard, of course, Rum Punch, which became Jackie Brown. I mean, Get Shorty, his legacy. He's one of the best authors of the 20th century and into the 21st. Buchanan Rides Alone has a commentary by Fef Sutton. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to let you read it for yourself. Because I haven't listened to the commentary yet. This just came, and I know the movies, so I wanted to talk to you about it as soon as I could. So you could pre-order this. It's by the way, right now, pre-order status, it's $42.99 on Amazon. 12 movies on Blu-ray for $43. That's amazing. If you don't own any of these movies, this is not even a question. This is how you jump into Randolph Scott. Okay, anyway, so Emmy-winning producer, writer of Cheers and Boston Legal. Mark Jordan Legan, producer, writer, and NPR radio personality. That's Buchanan Rides Alone. Hangman's Knot, Robert Knott, journalist and author of The Films of Randolph Scott, and Johnny D. Boggs, journalist and 13-time Spur-winning author of Western fiction. And then finally, The Stranger Wore a Gun. Henry Park, screenwriter and film historian. Robert Knott, again, journalist and author of The Films of Randolph Scott. So you got 4 commentaries, a documentary feature, and you've got high definition transfers. Let's go page by page through this, because the art, the posters of the films themselves are worth celebrating. Did I skip a page? No. So I'm going to hold this up. You can freeze frame and you can read. All right, let's go to the next 4. This is very similar to the Hammer Films box set that Mill Creek put out last year, 2020. That was on, I believe it's right here. C. Courtney Joyner was also very heavily involved with this set as well. These are very similar in their approach. Columbia Pictures again, but they're very similar, and it ended up on my best of list. I had such high praise for it, and then there's the last page. So my enthusiasm about this set, because frankly I already have the movies, right? I just love these films, and this is such a great opportunity for people to discover what makes Randolph Scott. You know, we don't talk about him enough. We talk about John Wayne. Well, first of all, we don't talk about Westerns enough. We try to here at Serial at Midnight, but there's not enough conversation about Westerns as a genre. I think it's starting to come back a little bit. There's starting to be more and more interest, hence this box set. But we talk about John Wayne, you know, we talk about Clint Eastwood, we talk about Bronson, we talk about the Italian stuff. But good old-fashioned American studio pictures, it seems to slip through the radar, slip under the radar, slip through the cracks, fly under the radar, slip through the cracks. But Randolph Scott was a huge star in these movies. He was huge. And I'm just grateful to Mill Creek for giving these movies the spotlight that they deserve, putting a spotlight back on Randolph Scott. So if you're just diving into Randolph Scott Westerns, you have a lot to discover, and you're in for a heck of a ride. The Randolph Scott Collection is shipping soon. As I'm recording this video, it's just a few days away. So let's continue the conversation about Westerns in the comments below, and which one of these is your favorite? I think mine might be the Tall T, but they're all so good. I'm not sure. What about you? Guys, thanks so much. Take care. Until next time, here's where to go and what to do.